Today I am going to tell you guys my coming out story. And it's not funny or, I'm not taking this as like a comedic thing. I'm being serious and this is, you know, with what's going on right now in 2017. Trump is unfortunately our president, and I want to talk about when I came out. It was probably 2001. Wow, it's a long time ago. But it was 2001, and I always knew I was gay. Growing up, I had crushes on boys and, you know, liked boys in school, but as I got older, I knew that there was something different. If a boy would like sit next to me on the bus or, you know, I don't know, be close to me in any way, I felt uncomfortable. I felt unnatural. So I remember, I think I was in fifth grade, and I was on the bus, and uh, on the radio they were talking about Ellen DeGeneres and how she was gay. And I remember being on the bus thinking, maybe that's what I am. Maybe I'm gay. But I didn't know that gay meant being a lesbian. I didn't know what gay meant at all. I just knew that I was different, and maybe that was my different. As a teenager, I always had a lot of, girlfriends and, best friends and, et cetera, et cetera. And I had never thought about any of my friends in that way. It was never any sort of sexual thing. It was just, I just knew that while all of my other friends were crushing on boys and having boyfriends and making out in the hallway, I would be like, what? Ooh. It was just kind of like gagging. So fast forward to when I was 19, and my best friend at the time, her and I argued all the time. And she made a statement, and she said, sometimes I'm so in love with you, I can't see straight. And I remember being like, what? And it was awkward silence. Crickets, crickets. But I thought about it days after. I was thinking about it, like, maybe I could do that. Maybe I like her too. Maybe, all of these thoughts were going on in my mind, and it was never a sexual thing. It was more like emotional. And I guess I told her a couple days later, like, I'm in love with you too. And she was just like, I didn't mean it. I take it back. And we continued to be best friends. It was kind of unspoken between us, but, my mother started to like assume things and question me, and I would deny it. I would deny it because back then, although I don't believe now that it's accepted, but I think that it's more tolerated now than it was back then. It was very taboo back then. So the day, I think it was, I don't remember, but me and my best friend at the time ended up sleeping together. And the next day, it was like hours later, I went to my mom's, and my mom said, do you have anything to tell me? And my heart's racing, like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, no. She's like, so you don't have anything to tell me? So when they say that, moms really know everything, it's true. Something about it's true. So, long story short, I told her, and she embarrassed me and called my best friend at the time and said, what are your intentions with my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And then she asked me straight up, are you gay? And I said, yes. And she cried. I mean, she cried. She cried like I had just said that I was El Chapo. It was something that I didn't understand because my mom has many gay friends and they, she never judged them. She was always like, Judy on duty. So I couldn't understand why she was so affected by it. So you guys might see Bronx, my pit bull. He is going to probably weasel his way over here. But anyway, so she cried and cried and cried, and I felt bad, and I felt like maybe I shouldn't be gay. I don't want to hurt my mother. I was raised to, respect my mother, my father, my grandmother, and just, never question them. So for those few days that she was like devastated, I was like questioning everything. Is this what I really want to do? Am I ever going to be able to have kids? So many thoughts ran through my mind. But let me be clear, it was not a sexual thing. It was emotional. I knew that my emotional attachment was easier to obtain for women than it was ever for a man. Never. So after a couple days, my mom came around and she told my grandmother, her mother, and my grandma called me and she said, I just want to tell you that I don't care who you sleep with. You're still my granddaughter and I love you either way. So that was the first reaction that I got that was typical of my grandmother. She really didn't give a goddamn, as she would say. She's in heaven now. She's my angel. But and then goes the process of telling your family that you care about. And I told my dad, and my dad was just like, yeah. My Uncle Bob and my Uncle Mike, it's kind of a joke. They're always like, how do you pull such pretty women? And, oh, good job. And, so it's always been a joke for my uncles, my mom's brothers. My Uncle Randy, who passed away a few years ago, asked me, and he said, how you gonna like girls when they got the same thing you got? And I thought about it for a second and I said, well, why do you like women? And he said, all right, Coley, all right. That's my nickname. And I think the only person that still to this day makes me a little sad was my father's mother. And I told her, and I love her to death. I respect her immensely. She's amazing, but she said, that's your battle with God. And still to this day, I have no idea what that means, because I was born this way. This was never a choice. If I had a choice, I would not choose to be a double, minority. Nope, I wouldn't do it. Not only am I half black, but I'm gay. So it's kind of not something that I would choose. I've been in many relationships. I wouldn't say many, but I've been in a few relationships. I thought I knew love. I thought I'd been loved. And then I met Tita. And she is now my fiance. And we are madly in love. And, you know, I'm kind of rambling. But the moral of this is no matter how scary it is to tell your loved ones, tell your friends. And side note, all of my friends were like so accepting. Some of my friends who will watch this, know who you are, questioned me as to why I would not be attracted to them if the opportunity arose. And it wasn't anything it wasn't anything personal. It was just, you know, straight people aren't attracted to everything they see. Gay people, same thing. But the message to this video is simply that no matter how hard it may be, and scary and confusing and, you know, just life altering, at the end of the day, the end of the trials and tribulations, it'll be worth it, because you will be your true self and you'll find that love that is meant for you. And gay, straight, yellow, green, blue, transgender, doesn't matter. Everyone deserves to be loved. And, you know, I love everyone. And, you know, I have a lot of love in my life and I'm grateful for that. And although there was many times that I sat, see, he's sneaking in there. There's many times that I sat and thought, why? Why am I doing this? Why can't I just be normal? Why can't I just be normal? And now at 34 years old, I wouldn't change a thing. Not a thing. I am who I am. And I urge everyone who is thinking about coming out or thinking about, you know, acknowledging that they may be bisexual or whatever the case may be your true self, because no one can ever love you until you love you. And you can't love you if you're not you, the real you. So that is my story. There's many more levels to it that I'll explain in the future. That was just a quick sum up, but there's a lot of different scenarios and different situations that I'd like to share with you guys, like the time I had a boyfriend and that best friend saved the day because she was like my whole friend and she saved the day for me. But that's a story time for another day. But, you know, just be proud. Be proud of your truth. And if no one else loves you, I love you. Adios.